Hey y'all, it's Brad Allen with the Art of Real Estate. And today I want to share some things that I have learned the hard way over the last, I don't know, 18 years, but more specifically, probably the last 13, because that's how old my daughter is. My oldest one is. And parenting in real estate can be hard. The pressures that get put onto you, whether you're the husband, the wife, the whoever, the caregiver, it's a lot. And you're trying to be a good business professional. You're trying to close houses so you can feed your kids, but at the same time, you want to be with your kids so they're in the house so they still like you. It really adds up. And that doesn't even take into consideration the pressure of having a relationship with a spouse. And I've been very fortunate, and I'm going on a limb here to probably have had 25 plus babies born in our company in the last, I don't know, decade. So I've got to see people become parents. I've got to see people, how they handle it or how they shouldn't handle it. And you don't know until you're in it. And so I think that real estate can be a beautiful thing for everybody, but I also think it can be very challenging. And this is what makes a lot of people get out of the business. So when people ask me all the time, what are your tips and tricks for parenting? And honestly, it's something that's kind of near and dear to my heart. So the first thing I'm going to say is you've got to own your calendar. And what I mean by that is you've got to sit down. I like to call them CEO meetings with my spouse Sunday afternoons. And we look at it and we're like, what's coming up this week? We have a shared family calendar. So we know everything that's going on, or we try to, and we have it all on there. One of the things that we have kind of set and we do at the beginning of every year is I do carpool on Monday mornings and Thursday mornings. And then I do pickup on Monday afternoons. That's set in stone. I am out of the office at 2 p.m. on Monday, and I am running and gunning when it comes to my kids. Also, my kids happen to do a lot of dance or extracurricular activities, and so there's a lot of running around in the evenings. My wife, who happens to be also an entrepreneur, she has a lot going on as well. So by having this meeting and really know what's going on, who needs to be at the school for this parent meeting, when the parent-teacher conference is, and you get this ahead of time, you put that on your calendar, and that is a non-negotiable. And when it's a non-negotiable, it's very easy to tell clients, oh, I have something at that time already. One of the things that really helped me way back in the day when my children were small was on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I kind of negotiated, right? I negotiated with my wife that Tuesdays and Thursdays were going to be my late nights. So I would not be home up until 7:30. That way I knew if I had listing appointments, if I had to go help an agent do something, I knew I had those evenings free of guilt to go and do that. But the other nights, I would be home around 5. And so I really enjoyed that cadence because I didn't have to feel guilty working. They weren't mad at me and wondering where I was at. And it really did help. Another thing that helped in my relationship was I share my calendar with my wife. So she sees where I'm at, not that she's jealous at any point, but it's because she can look it up and be like, oh, he's got a listing appointment at 4 o'clock, so he's not gonna be home till this. It really does just help with transparency and helps people to quit guessing what you're doing. We all know that weekends are tough. We do. And I'm preaching from a hill that I don't actually have to live on anymore. But I have seen it work very well for agents to pick a day on the weekend that's non-negotiable. It can change, but you're looking at your calendar and let's say you've got clients coming in and they want to see a Saturday. Well, let's use Saturday as your work day and chalk it full of appointments. You move everybody to that because you're busy on Sunday, and Sunday becomes a family day. So if you can really do this, and yes, it's going to take time. Yes, it's going to be a hard learning curve because you're probably a people pleaser and you want closings and you think if you tell somebody no, you're not going to pay your mortgage that month. And I'm here to tell you, people can hear no. What they need to hear is I have an appointment at that time, but I can help you on this date, this date, and this date. And if you give them options, it will go very well for you. If you just respond and say what works for you, people just naturally are going to pick the time that's best for them. And oftentimes it's not going to be good for you. Some other things I like to point out when you're talking about family time is protect your evenings, right? You can use a live voicemail. I've seen that work very well, where every day you get up, you record a new voicemail. It's not that hard. And you say, hey, and it's Thursday, May 12th. I am working today. I'll be in the office from 9 to noon working on paperwork, and I'll return your calls afterwards, or however you want to do it. But you let them know. And oh, by the way, from 5 to 7, that's family time. So any calls I get during that time, call you back after 7 p.m. So you set expectations, people know what's going on, and you still have the ability to serve people, but just on your time. And God forbid you have to call somebody back during that 5 to 7 p.m. block. They're very grateful because oh, I know you're with family. Don't worry about it right now. But yeah, I had an opening of what's going on. If you're thinking about starting a family, that's a lot to think about, right? There's a lot going on. There's a lot of growing up you have to do personally and professionally. But how are you going to manage, having children and your work-life balance at the beginning. So I hear it all the time, and I think people think it's a badge of honor, and it may be. I've never given birth to a child, but you can talk to any experienced real estate agent that's been in it with kids and like, I was negotiating an offer in the delivery room, or I just had a C-section and I hit send on a contract. Like, that's sad to me. Like, that is not what I want my agents to be doing. I want my agents to be fully aware of what's going on and enjoying that moment, whether the husband or the wife in this situation. So here's a couple things if you need to get prepared for having a baby. 3 months out, what I recommend you do is you sit down and you make a plan for every buyer and seller that you're working with currently. And you make a little spreadsheet. Yeah, you can do a CRM and all that stuff. And I like that, but I like to see a visual spreadsheet. Jane Smith, John Smith, all these different people that you could be working with and where they are in the process. And then you have the could be clients, the ones that say, hey, I'm gonna look in the spring. I could buy a house later on, that kind of stuff. I want you to write them out too. And every week you update that list. And as you get closer and closer to your due date or the delivery date, you have that updated. Because here's what we like to do at our company. I want to support parents. I think we're a company that has turned into a company that is great for parents. And I'm very, very proud of that. So when our agents get close to their due date, we set out a plan. As they get within a month, month and a half, and typically it's a month and a half. We've had some babies come very early and surprise everybody. So about a month and a half out, we have some of our agents team up with them. So they know if they go out early for any reason, those other buyer agents in our company are going to step in and they're going to work with Steve or whoever it is that the buyer is. And that way they're taken care of. The client already knows this. And if our agent's going to a listing appointment, say a month and a half out, they're gonna be like, hey, I'm pregnant. You can see that. But here's my broker, Brad. He's going to step in as soon as I go out, and you have a plan. A lot of companies, I think, miss the mark on this. I think it's one of those things like, hey, turn in a contract, good luck. But like, I want to help nurture and help parents juggle the work-life balance. So we like to put a plan in place for parents, and we like to give them time off. Like, it's unheard of to take 12 weeks off as a real estate agent. But we have done that with our agents because we have systems and people in place and non-competing brokers that can step in and handle business so they can take these precious few weeks and really start the journey of their family. And then let's fast forward a little bit. Let's say that they're up and going. They've got toddlers. They've got all these different things. This is why I think the support level that we offer is next to none. We have an on-duty weekend every weekend, and some agent is picking that up. And during that weekend, any agent can call in and have that agent show properties for them. So this is very helpful if you've got to go to a little Johnny soccer game or you got to travel for a baseball game. You know that weekend that you've got help and support. Same things for the nighttime as well. So at nighttime, we have people on call to help our agents out. Now, we're not doing all their work for them, but we're a resource and we all can work together. All right, y'all. So here's one thing I hope every company will just rip off from us and duplicate it. And it is supporting your agents that are parents. Not everybody needs to have kids. I'm not getting into that, but it's a big part of life. And I see so many agents start down the journey of parenthood and it gets overwhelming and they get out of the business. And they're really good agents, but there's just so much to handle and it's so much chaos if they don't have a plan that it kind of sucks. So at our company, what I like to do, and y'all steal this, I put together a plan. It starts 3 months out from the delivery date. And during that plan, we start putting together what clients are under contract or showing. We just start making a list. I have my agents make a spreadsheet. And in that spreadsheet, it has the client's name, where they are in the process, and any notes we need to know about it during that week. And then we have the other list of these are the people that could come out of the woodwork because we all know it's just like a vacation. As soon as you go to maternity leave, this random person is going to reach out that should have called you 6 months ago. They're going to get your voicemail that says, I just had a baby, and they're going to call somebody else and you just lost money. So we want to create this plan, and it's a little bit of work on the agents, but they keep it updated. About 2 months out, 2 months to a month and a half, we start adding battle buddies. And what we mean by that is we know this agent, if it happens to be a female, could go out at any moment because babies do come early. And what we want to do is let our clients know, especially sellers, hey, Mr. Seller, my due date is September 1st. In case I go out early, or if your house is still in the market after September, my broker, Brad, is going to step in and handle your listing just like if I was here because I'm going to take a couple weeks off. Y'all, we've had 25 plus babies in our company born. We've done this a lot of times and we have never had somebody like fire us over this. Same thing with buyers. We have our agents send out an email to their buyers that are the would-be's, could-be's, and saying, hey, my maternity leave starts on September 1st. Here's a number to Steve. He is going to be my battle buddy while I'm out of the market, while I'm out on maternity leave. And if you need anything, please contact Steve so that way we can show you houses. And oh, by the way, here's my broker's number if you can't get a hold of Steve. And then Steve reaches out to those people a month out, just going, hey, I'm here if you need me. As soon as your agent goes out on maternity leave, you're going to get an email from us letting you know that she is out, and that'll be your point of contact. And these little things lead up to you still closing business, handling business, and taking off precious time, whether it's 6 weeks or 12 weeks or whatever it is. So that way you can put your phone down and you can focus on your baby. So this has been very valuable for us. As you get going, if you're already a parent or you're about to become one, what do you do on nights and weekends? How do you show up for your kids when they have sporting events or rehearsals or whatever it is? So we have two things that I'm really proud of. One, we have what we call night and weekend duty. And honestly, I call it oh shit duty. So every agent takes a turn being on duty after 5 p.m. for 1 week and during the weekends. Now, we usually have two. And what happens is they get to choose whatever weekend they want. We kind of fill up the calendar, and it's divided by the number of agents. So 1 in every 20 weeks, they're on duty. And what that means is they're going to be in town and they're going to be available to help. And so let's say I'm going to see my daughter's rehearsal in Winston-Salem. I know I don't have any clients coming in town. Everybody's taken care of. And you get that phone call halfway to the destination and they go, hey, Brad, surprise, we came in town. We want to look for a house this weekend. And you're like, oh shit. So we call up the agent on duty and go, hey, sorry about this, but I've got somebody that just came in town and wants to look at these 3 houses. Can you please show them? And we compensate them for their mileage and pay them per house. So that way I can still focus on my kids or my weekend away with my wife or whatever it is and not feel guilty that I'm not there to show houses. And I know they're being shown by somebody capable and available. Also, I'm not having to call this agent and say, hey, I'll give you a referral fee. I'm going to give you half the commission. No. We don't do that here. We get compensated small for our time so we don't feel like we're taken advantage of. But at the same time, we know that we're helping each other out because we'll probably be on duty the next weekend. So this has been very, very helpful in making sure that our agents can be at the events they need to be at to be the parent they need to be. So these are the couple of things that we do to keep our agents sane when they are working nonstop, being a parent, being a spouse, being an agent, being a sister, whatever it is. This is how we have helped our agents become the best they can be with time management and put the priorities that really matter first, and that's their family. So if it's anything else I could ever be grateful for, is that we put these systems in place and that people are able to be good agents and good people.